what do you guys get from being so defensive about acknowledging that men and women are supposed to be complementary in society, and there is a necessity for them? Why you guys get so, what do you gain from it?
Power.
For me, I'm not saying that men and women aren't complementary, or that, you know, that men and women don't need each other.
You just fought against that.
Yes, because he was saying in his little speech that women cannot survive without men, and I was trying to point out that there is a possibility that we can survive without men.
There's a possibility that I could fly.
There's a survive that.
What is the benefit for men wanting to point all of this out to? And if we're going to flip all of this,
just being factual.
Well, a lot of these facts and a lot. I'll just say this right now. When I was DM'd regarding this opportunity, I was anticipating that it was going to be a dating podcast, and honestly,
it's related.
Honestly, all of these questions have been very targeted. So, I think, I'm not going to speak on your part, but on me, what I was told this was going to be is very different from what it is.
I mean, feminism is massive parts about.
But
dating.
there's a million other things that are going on in the dating world, especially what it was referred to was the dating world here in LA. And this is nothing really we're talking about is exclusive to LA or exclusive to LA dating culture. Like, a lot of the things that is what I was interpreting this was going to be about kind of seems like it's all from the male's perspective and the male's perspective on dating. So that's
7 women at the table.
Yes, but the answers.
Figuring out your perspectives.
I'm aware, but it's all of the questions that you're asking and that have been asked so far. It's like the man and the bear, all of the viral things that have gone on that have gotten men and women into arguments. We're not talking. I feel like these questions are made to get some aggressive feelings, and it's not necessarily like.
We're having fun.
Yeah,
I don't think it's.
I think it highlights a huge issue in the dating society is people that are so aggressive as females.
This is the
I
undercurrent.
want to say I changed my answer.
And their role.
And it can go the other way too. Men are hyper feminine.
And it can go
more
the
than
other
ever
way
today.
too. But
also, I mean, didn't mean to cut you off there, but I do think a big part of one of the big things when it comes to dating is do we have the same values? And there's I think that's pretty important. Mm-hmm. So I don't think these things are totally beyond the pale in terms of.
I feel like it's more.
And sometimes
of an
you have tangents and you go into
because if you flip this and put women in front of men, now we would have a problem with it. We genuinely would. We can't say that we couldn't, because if I heard it, I'd be like, "You're being sexist." If we're doing the same thing, we're being sexist. Like we are.
And people need to hear this because, like I said, we got to stop speaking from just our personal perspective. Like me, that brother who was talking about what he went through in the woman with the girl, I wouldn't have did that. But he's not like me, so I would rather give information that's more digestible by the average person. The average woman doesn't want to do these survival scenarios, so just to pretend to say it's possible just to get a point for the woman team is a power play more so than something beneficial for women, because women are hive-minded, that are like even men. Doing these podcasts, you'll be surprised how many people will watch this and say, that's what it is. And it's not what it is. So why not speak from the general consensus and not just speak from these nuanced perspectives? We just showed you a chart with damn near 99, not 94, 99% of most of those jobs were taken by men. What's the argument? There is no argument. And it's okay. It doesn't mean men are better than women, but why can't we be honest and say, hey, I know how to do a lot of stuff with my hands, but the average woman doesn't want to do that. That doesn't mean you're weak. It actually means you're strong, because admitting vulnerability is a strength. It's not a weakness.
Say that you can improve, that you can do these hard jobs. Like, what is the end goal of you proving that you can do all of these hard tasks that men can do? That
we're talking in this entire podcast, we've been talking about hypothetical situations, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we're talking on. And then the moment that I say my opinion of a hypothetical situation, it's, oh, well, you hate men. I'm not talking about all men, and I'm not talking about, whether or not I value men in the work field.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything about that.
Wait,
but
can I jump in really quick? So you said not all men, but you said even if the chance is 1%, I'm willing to throw 99% of men under the bus.
For the bear, for that, in that situation,
Yeah.
because the only person I'm hurting is myself in that. I don't go around my daily life insulting men or being mean to men. But if I had the situation that was a hypothetical, I would choose that situation for myself. And that's perfectly valid for me to choose that for myself.
Sure.
That being said, I don't go around my daily life and demasculine, whatever it is that is this kind of narrative amongst feminists that we hate men. I love men, okay? I have no problem with men. That being said,
do you?
I do.
I don't think you hate women.
I don't think they said that either.
I have so many male friends. That being said, a random guy who I can't vet, who I don't know anything about, is very different from a friend. And
I want to say something real
go
fast.
ahead.
Like, just because you just pointed fingers at them, they just pointed fingers at you is what you thought. Like, it's hard to explain, but we're just sitting here pointing fingers at each other and trying to literally just claim the power. Like, that's good that women can do these hard jobs, but why is there such a big movement of all of the women doing all of the hard jobs and all of the women being able to do the masculine things? Like, what is the movement? What is the behind motive of it?
No one's trying to claim any power. We were just trying to answer a hypothetical question.
Yeah, well, she was saying that they were saying that you hate men, and you literally just said that they practically hated women. Right?
I don't think anyone said that
they hate women.
we hated men or women.
I don't think you hate women.
I think
I don't
the
think you hate
topics
men
are very
or women.
kind of seeming to be a little one-sided.
Yeah.
I do agree with her. These topics are very one-sided. At a point where I'm just you know what? You got it. You got it. Be great.
Patriarchy wins.
Yes.
At this point, I'm not even going. I'm just sitting back because it's it's very one-sided. Have we even reversed roles to have us
can
ask?
do it. Throw me something.
It's
Throw
too
me
late
something.
now.
Throw me something.
It's getting late at this
It's getting
point.
late,
We've been here for a while.
and everybody's a little
But-
antsy and
Just
a
how
little.
she feels about not choosing,
Right.
choosing the
here,
bear over
Rana,
the man
I
is how
wanna-
you feel about women wearing provocative clothing and not choosing them.
Right.
That's what
It's
she's
an
trying to
opinion.
say.
That makes sense.
You
That
have
is
a
no
valid
comparison.
opinion.
That is
No, but I'm
Okay.
saying you have a valid opinion, and that's
let's
your
look at that.
opinion.
Okay.
That's her opinion based, and
We
you're
don't need to
basing
get
that off of
hostile
your
and mad at each other
experiences.
over it.
So
you
is
have
she.
asked a question though multiple times, and that to me, and the question is, what is there to gain, or what is the end goal of women being able to do masculine jobs? And what I would say is the fact that women previously were not allowed in spaces to do those jobs meant that they didn't have the option.
Wait, which
We have the
jobs?
option now, though, luckily.
Wait.
Yes,
do-
but now
we
we
do
have the
now.
option.
Okay, I have to
So
engage
that
with
that
this.
is the end goal.
Wait,
is
hold on.
So I just feel like we might not.
But we have the
Wait,
option
wait,
now,
so-
so I feel like the end
With
goal.
the option, they're not picking it.
Wait, so you're saying women were
It's a power play.
You're saying women, because of male sexism, they were barred from underwater welding? Is that your argument?
No, what I'm saying is, first of all, in some fields, women were not allowed to, yes, but in some fields, it was just, there were so many men, and also it was not
just not-
socially acceptable, and we are seeing an uptick in women wanting to pick up those jobs. And I don't think that there should be, this shouldn't be a politicized or crazy thing. It's just,
No, but
no matter what the sex, they
why
want to
are
do
you
it.
attributing it to some vague nebulous sexism on behalf of men? When it comes to a lot of these jobs, it has nothing to do with vague nebulous sexism. Women are just not physically capable of doing a lot of these jobs. Do you disagree?
I feel like majority of women don't want to do
they don't
these
want to
jobs.
do
I want to say I don't want to be a coal
Even
miner.
if they're
I'm not
even if
doing
they were
that.
physically capable,
I'm definitely
they just
not
don't
doing
want
that.
to do the
But
job.
biologically too, have you taken anatomy and physiology or
Yes.
evolutionary
Yes.
medicine? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because I have a degree in it and I work in it. And there is a physiological, fundamental difference in biological men and biological women. Just for the sake of this argument, how we regulate protein synthesis, how our literal bodies, our musculature, our physiology, our psychology, there is a natural adaptive advantage through evolution to serve the proof that they are better suited for a
Certain
lot
areas,
Like
just like we are
areas different. That's
suited
why they
for certain
separate them in
areas.
fucking sports for the Olympics. I mean, there is you.
Yeah.
That's why there's men's
fundamental-
sports and women's sports.
Hold on. Go ahead. You can answer to her. Go ahead.
No, I agree that we are. I agree with that statement. That being said, just because someone might be better suited because they're 6'6" and have more muscle on them doesn't mean that a woman can't also be capable. All of these hypotheticals was whether or not someone was capable
There
is
are
what I was
just,
speaking
look,
to.
there are just
not
some,
whether or not it should.
look, so yes, can some women do these jobs? Sure, but there are just some jobs that like might be physically available to, say, I don't know, 50% of men, right? There's some men that can't do the jobs either, right? Like I couldn't do roofing. I'd probably like give up after a day, right? But if like, let's say only 50% of men can do it, well, that's still 50% of men. Whereas like, what if it's only like 0.01% of women have the actual physical capability of doing it?
And if
like-
it's that
such
small,
a
what's the
massive
point of bringing it
differential.
up? Outside of just win an argument.
Because we were talking about hypotheticals and the situation of whether or not if women were capable to do those things. It's not that I'm saying more women, that I'm disagreeing with your statement that more men do these fields or that they're predominantly male
They're
fields.
more capable.
Yes. What I was saying is that women are still capable of doing that. And I don't understand why that is such a hot take.
It's not. We think women are capable of doing it.
We're
but
doing
it
it
is.
good,
we're-
doing it well, or
but
just
we
doing
just-
it.
But
But
not a lot of us.
But that does not mean
that's
it's-
the problem. The argument.
We never said we wanted to do it.
That's not
Yeah.
what you guys
We never-
initially
What did we
said, though.
initially say? What did we-
Initially, you were saying it wasn't about being capable. It was about men can do this. This is what men are doing. Women cannot do that, and they don't want to do it. That was the argument. I'm listening. I'm
Thank
just sitting
you.
back and
Yeah.
listening.
Thank you.
No.
We're not
I'm
saying that-
observing.
we're not
They wanna
saying
do it?
women want to do
But
this.
that
We're just saying
wasn't the
some women are
initial
capable.
argument. You said
Yes,
that women weren't
some
capable,
women.
but there are
Most-
some women.
Yes, but most women are not physically capable of doing it, and even if you add to the women who can do it, they don't want to do it.
And
we
I
weren't
agree with that,
arguing
but that
against
was not the
that. I'm
original
not- I don't
argument.
think so.
Damien, pull up the cockroach manhole video. Pull it up. Go ahead.
Oh, I see.
That sounds
Get
like
it
an
quick,
interesting
please.
video.
I think that's crazy.
All right. Play it. Make it bigger, please.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
All right. Look, most women could have a little hose and start from the beginning, please. Just let it play through. Oh, come on. Like, there's more men. Like, a lot of women could get down into a manhole and do this. Yeah, so it's not even just about capability. It's about like willingness to do those jobs. Most women are not willing to do like the sort of gross these sorts of jobs.
Yeah.
Men are.
What I was saying in these hypothetical situations was that if the world ended, that we would be able to do that. Not that we want to do that, not that I want to crawl into a manhole with a bunch of cockroaches, but I could potentially do that if my life depended on it, if civilization depended on it.
This world wouldn't be here if one race was there and the other one wasn't. So like I just still don't understand the end goal of
How
like,
one is
We
needed
understand
more than
that.
the
It was
other.
just a
we need each
hypothetical
other,
question
just
that we were
work.
trying to
that you
answer.
could do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
There was
We're not
no
trying to
winning
say-
here.
All right,
I don't
let's
think
take
they're
it
bashing you
hypothetical.
guys.
Yeah, there is no
either.
winning in this circumstance, in this situation. We're strictly talking about hypotheticals and the fact of how these questions are worded to make it seem a little perhaps biased.
I mean, it's hypothetical to bring out actual logic. So hypothetically, it's a scenario, but the logic is really applied in real life, and it doesn't make sense. So take hypotheticals removed away from it. Would y'all women would want to do that?
I
Yes or
say
no?
the statistics were pulled up. It was like 90% of men did the men
So
job.
what's the
So-
point
Yeah.
besides us? Because I've heard.
We
I give
were
you that.
responding to your
Okay,
hypothetical
so take
question.
away that. Because some women bring that up.
You do HVAC, right?
I'm certified for it, but I don't. I just do management now. I do
okay.
fiber optic management, but it's a dirty job that women are. Some women are doing. Some women are doing that. Some women are doing that, but they're doing it. Most of that I see are women that's. I'm not trying to be racist, but a lot of Mexican women are doing it with their husbands, so they have like a group business. So they're actually doing it with their man. The women that I know that are doing it on their own is because they have to. and they need money to take care of their children because they're single mothers. They have to, but they don't want to. And sometimes when women take on those jobs, they take on those jobs at the expense of their femininity. They become a lot more aggressive. They become a lot more masculine. So yeah, they're able to make money, but it's slowly declining their relatability to men. So it's like, yeah, they're doing it, but what's the end goal? What do they acquire from doing this outside of taking care of themselves economically? They're not happy. They're lonely. A lot of them are miserable, but they're just doing men's jobs. So even though women can do it, if it's such a small percentage of women doing it, to bring it up is irrelevant outside of just winning an argument.
In this hypothetical situation, there were no men. So why do we need to be feminine?
Huh?
Yeah,
Hold on, guys,
Yeah, why do we have to be feminine?
Guys, I do want to move things
In your
on.
hypothetical
We've
situation.